So now let me bring in Representative Jan Schakowsky. She's a Democrat from Illinois. She was at the president's speech today, and she has an even bolder tax plan. She's also a member of the Progressive Caucus and of the President's Debt Commission. Now, let me start there, because I know you were part of the commission and that you did not sign off on it. What was your concern with the commission?
Well, not only didn't I sign off on it, but I actually offered an alternative plan that said, yes, we can balance the budget, but we don't have to do it on the backs of the elderly and middle class and poor people. But having said that, there were a couple of things that I agreed with the commission on, and that was that we should go after what we call tax expenditures, those tax breaks for wealthy Americans, and number two, that the defense budget had to be on the table. And those were two things that the president said today that he also liked about the debt commission, the deficit commission, and that he also wanted to adopt. So I actually agreed with him on that, even though I voted against and presented my own proposal for balancing our budget.
So is it, I know the president outlined today basically wants to get $1 trillion in reinstating some of the tax rates that were under Clinton. He wants to get $2 trillion from spending cuts, so a lot more from spending cuts, and maybe save about $1 trillion in interest payments if you do this plan. Do you think that's the right balance, or are you concerned about that balance, and are you concerned that he's using the commission here apparently as his guide, something that you voted against?
Well, let me just say this, Cenk, that what the president did today, rather than lay out all kinds of very specific items, was present a very different vision of America between what he sees and what the Republicans have proposed. I think that was the context that is most important, so the American people really understand what's at stake. That the vision that they proposed was deeply pessimistic, that it was not the America that he sees. It's not the America that he sees that makes poor people and middle class people bear the burden of this debt, that seniors shouldn't have to pay. And he talked pretty specifically about Medicare and Medicaid, that yes, we could reduce the cost of health care, but that doesn't mean that we had to do it by shifting those costs to poor people and old people in our country. I thought it was a very passionate expression of the very different ways that we look at it. The Republicans have offered something that will absolutely exacerbate the disparity in income between the rich and the poor in our country, that asks the poor and middle class to sacrifice, even though, as the president pointed out, the middle class income hasn't increased while we've seen this dramatic rise in the wealth of the top earners in America. And so I really applauded that speech. We're going to still have to work out the details, but if he's coming from that kind of place, I have confidence on where we're going to end up.
All right, thematically, I couldn't agree more with you. I thought he hit that note over and over in the speech, and it was really encouraging to see. And I say that as a progressive. I'm honest with the viewers; they know where I come from, and speaking of which, I really like your plan. I want to show people what it is, and it would be a 45% rate for every dollar above $1 million, okay, and it would be 49% for billionaires for every dollar above $1 billion. Now,
right, and I wanted to make that point because people will say $1 billion. Who makes $1 billion? Well, yes, there are Americans who made $1 billion and more in 2010. That was their 1 year take for that particular year.
So should the president have been bolder though and go with? I mean, it seems like your plan, as much as you and I might like it, doesn't even get considered in Washington. What's wrong there that we have a Democratic president who isn't pushing the spectrum to the left there?
Well, believe you me, I think that it would be wildly supported by the American people, who 81% said the preferable way to deal with our deficit and our debt would be to raise taxes on millionaires. And I know Senator Sanders had a similar proposal for millionaires. And so what I'm saying to my colleagues, have the courage to follow the American people. They're telling us what they want us to do. There's no risk involved. We should, in fact, I think, even go higher, as my plan does, and tax millionaires and billionaires even more. Not because of revenge, not because we're going to punish them, because of fairness.
Yeah, if you can't get politicians on your side to agree to a position that they ideologically agree with and 81% of the country agrees with, Well, there's something wrong in Washington. But Representative Schakowsky is one of the ones that are trying to fix it, and we thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much, Cenk.